I'm Paul. I'm Paul Michael. And I love you.
With pregnancy with Paul, my third, I never thought there would be an issue with my child because my other two were so healthy, and I knew and I understood being in my 40s that there was a chance.
It was a surprise because we didn't know Paul had special needs until after he was born.
I'm not, because my faith says this. I just, in my intuition, in my heart, which that's what I believe is God's grace is in my heart. It is what it is, and it's for a reason that little soul came to me. I didn't understand what was going on, and the moment that the doctor came in, he had like a team of people behind him. I knew something was wrong.
I remember the neonatologist after he was born noticed, I guess there's some indicators of Down syndrome in their fingers and toes and hands.
And then when the doctor said that he had a very strong suspicion that Paul had Down syndrome, I was like, well, how do you know? He doesn't look like a person with Down syndrome. Mind you, I've never met anybody with Down syndrome. I didn't know what the different criteria are. I didn't understand it completely. They mentioned a few other, the thicker back of the neck and low muscle tone. And that there, I was like, okay, he's kind of skinny. He didn't look like he had a lot of muscle tone.
I didn't know that he was going to have special needs. I found out after he was born that he was going to be different and that he had a condition called Down syndrome. I didn't really understand what that was because I'd never really known anybody who had Down syndrome.
I knew he had Down syndrome, but I never really knew what that was. I didn't really think about it. I just thought he had special needs, and he went to a special school, and he's my brother.
That first year with Paul, I was at my lowest. I didn't understand it was just a genetic thing. I didn't, because I never knew anybody with Down syndrome. I didn't know. But still, as a mom, it's a very natural thing to blame yourself because, of course, you gave birth to that little angel. You gave birth to that little being, and you believe, or I believed I heard him in some way. All of these things were just kind of coming our way, information coming our way, and I was so maxed out. I missed on a lot of information because I was so in a dark space.
Pretty much the doctor suggested we come in, talk to the doctors, but also schedule some cardiology visits because apparently with Down syndrome there's about a 50% chance of having some kind of heart defect, which indeed he did have.
I got the diagnosis of tetralogy of Fallot, which is 4 structural abnormalities of the heart, and there began the journey of a litany of surgeries.
I spent a lot of time in the hospital while Paul was having his surgeries. So you'd hear families who just lost their kid, and that was really sad, and that was always kind of a fear in the back of my head when he was little, especially.
Paul has been an absolute trooper and tough guy through 5 different bypass surgeries, pacemakers, and about 13 different surgeries along the way. Our first time in the hospital with Paul was a 2-month visit. It was obviously scary as a parent to see your child go through all this, but I was never really worried about the procedures and stuff they were doing.
After the 3rd bypass surgery, they figured out he was born without an immune system because he kept getting septic. Paul literally was resuscitated 3 different times. They brought him back because he passed, and they brought him back. He's gone through so much. I just didn't know if he was going to live.
He's been through the ringer. His 5th bypass was about 2 years ago, where they remodeled some of his pulmonary conduits.
I understand why he got more attention than us because he needed it. Between having Down syndrome and having his heart condition, medically and just emotionally, he needed a lot more support.
Most of the time everybody was just concentrated on Paul, what he was doing to make sure he's okay. They were just worried about him, as any parent would be. But I think that's normal, and I'm completely fine with that.
Belle and Ethan, they love each other tremendously, but they had some rough times, and I think it was just vying for attention from us, anybody.
They've always been troopers about our demands or requests of them to assist or help, and they know who their brother is, they know what's going on with him. They were there every step of the way through every surgery and visiting him and hugging him, and I'm sure there are some times when we have lacked giving them attention, although we tried very hard to balance it. It's not always possible, but you do your very best.
Both of them are so loving with Paul. He's blessed to have them in his life.
I'm really glad he is my brother. He's literally made me mature in ways that I don't think I could have if I didn't have him. Sometimes I feel like I should be looking up to him.
He's made me appreciate life. He's also taught me to love and accept everyone.
He's changed me, he's changed all of us. He's been, in many ways, a glue that keeps us all together. And at the end of the day, he's a big mush and keeps you smiling. A hug from Paul is priceless.
Paul taught me to be strong, and that's a gift of life. He gave me life. I gave him life, he gave me life. If I had that earlier on, I would have managed everything differently. I wish I knew what I know now back then when I had Paul. Then I would have been able to slap on the gloves, tie them nice and firm, and be ready to start throwing punches, because I would have been throwing punches for everybody, for my kids.
Most of the time, he just brings a lot of joy and happiness to everyone here. He's who he is, and he just has this charisma about him that everyone loves him. I hope that everyone could have someone like Paul. Honestly, a lot of people need people like that.
You want to say anything, Paul?
Yes.
What do you want to say?
Smile more.
Who needs to smile more? Everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah?